What's up, everybody? Unsportsmanlike Conduct back again with another week talking about NFL, NBA,
Oof.
drama, drama, drama.
We got we got a lot to talk about. There are a lot of teams in the National Football League that have issues, major issues, and we're going to talk about them all.
Major issues.
There are some teams that might be missing playoffs, some teams that might have a completely
make the playoffs
identity next year, make the playoffs that nobody thought was going to happen. So we're going to talk about all of that, and we are supposed to have Blaiden on the show today, the literal smartest football mind I know. So he's going to give us his 2 cents on all of that as well, which we're very excited about. But before we get into that, we got the 5 things, and I can't believe we're starting off with this one.
Well, I feel like it's every week we talk about either the Skims campaign, Brittany Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and that's basically the order that we're going down real quick right now.
So Brittany Mahomes, we talked about it last week, comeback of the century. Like, of the ages, she has had this redemption arc, especially for me as somebody who has not been her biggest fan over the last however many years or whatever, but she and her family are now the new faces of Skims, like their little cute little Christmas pajama line and stuff like that. And she's back, and in a whole new light that I feel like a lot of us as fans of the NFL who maybe like gave her a little bit of an unfair criticism over the however long. I mean, she's crushing it. She's holding hands with Taylor Swift. She's a model for one of the biggest clothing lines in the world right now. It's crazy. Unbelievable.
It's a great character redemption arc. I don't think I've ever been anti-Brittany Mahomes. I know she's had moments where I'm just like, why would you say it? Like when she would say about the Chiefs, she's like, everybody's against us. I get it, though. You were all in on supporting your husband, which we would be the same way.
Yeah.
We were in those situations, 100%. But we're not. So we're not doing those things. But no, I don't know. She's having fun. She's crushing it.
I'm just whatever. Good for her. But that also kind of ties into this next thing, which I potentially could have been fine without knowing this information. On the Manning cast Monday night, Patrick Mahomes admitted that he has lucky underwear, which, like, as anybody who played sports, even if you just played high school sports like we did, you have a lucky something. I had a lucky headband and lucky socks, like stuff like that. But he admitted that he has lucky underwear that his wife got him. And when the Chiefs are, and I quote, on a hot streak, you can't wash them, he says. And
you think he's for real when he says that?
Yeah, I really do, because I did not wash my Tom Brady jersey for probably 4 seasons.
Yeah, but that's different. There's like a lot of stuff going on there.
Well, okay, but that's my point. Like, I'm doing this just as a fan. I'm not playing.
Yeah, but he's running around sweating, gross, disgusting everywhere. I don't know, man. If he's serious about that,
I do. We
need to have a talk about the MVP odds if he's serious about that.
I think he is serious, because Brad Marchand, guy on the Bruins, has these gloves that if you just like look at them, they're the most raggedy, disgusting things. They probably smell to the high heavens, and like he refuses to change them. He doesn't wash them, doesn't do anything. There's holes in them and everything. It's disgusting.
We need to know less about one another. We need to know far less. We don't need to know that.
About your underwear.
We think you're a good quarterback. We think you're a great quarterback. We think you're one of the best we've ever seen. The underwear we don't need to know about.
I don't.
Congrats on the Skims, but we don't need to know about the other ones.
I don't need to know about the undies.
What prompted him to say that, though? Or think, hey, let me tell the world this because this is going to go real well.
I was like half paying attention. And then I heard the underwear thing. And then I think it was Eli who was like, you don't wash them. And then he was like, oh, no, I do. But like if we're on a hot streak, like, you got to let it ride or whatever.
What does that mean?
Clean underwear, I guess, is going to make them lose. I don't know.
At this point, you've been in the league for how long?
I don't even want to know.
I don't know. Whatever helps you get the wins, though. I don't have to know about it. Hey, whatever.
We've spent more time talking about Patrick Mahomes' underwear than I care to spend, more than I thought
ever in my life. Yeah. Right.
So,
no, I don't know.
Whatever works,
Weird
dude.
one.
That's fine, I guess. But just like, please wash your underwear. Sicko. What else? What else is going on in the
Karma is the
sports
guy on the
world?
Chiefs. Karma is the guy on the Chiefs that probably washes his underwear after
I hope
each
so.
game. I would hope to God for Travis Kelce, but you guys didn't see. I know you're probably tired of it. Taylor Swift in Argentina, and I loved every second of it. Sang Karma and switched the lyrics up and said, "Karma is the guy on the Chiefs."
I just
Coming straight home to me, and it was awesome.
I've been on record, like, I'm not a Swiftie. I wouldn't consider myself a Swiftie, but like, I like her music. I always have, but I'm not like crazy super fan or anything like that.
Right.
Nothing that has like happened in her life or whatever has made me be like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? Like Taylor Swift, whatever. This was it for me. I don't know. I don't know why, but I heard the lyrics and then I saw the video after, like, of her running off stage and everything. And I was like, oh my God.
The video of her running off the stage was great.
Oh my God.
But the video of him hearing her say that in the song.
With her dad.
Even better. Did you see his Chiefs lanyard? He is such a fanboy and it's so funny.
It's cute.
You know, her dad is probably having the most fun out of all of this. Even though he's an Eagles fan, seeing him wearing that Chiefs lanyard standing beside Travis Kelce was so funny and so good.
That's going to be an interesting week in that household this week.
Oh, yeah.
The Kelce
Bowl.
The
Kelce Bowl
Swift
part 2.
Bowl. Yeah.
You know what else I like about Travis Kelce?
What?
She's dated all these men. But Travis Kelce, he is the manliest man that she's ever been with. But he is the most secure and lets her just do whatever she wants and has fun and supports her and roots for her. And people should take notes.
I mean, you look at her dating history of the guys, and it's just,
right.
I mean, I'm sure they're all nice people and whatever. No knock on them. But, like, also, there's a reason why all these songs are written about you, and, like, multiple ones at that. But also that's like one side to every story, whatever, who cares? There's a whole rabbit hole that we can go down about that. But like, he just seems like just so at peace with like who he is as a person. And I feel like that's helping her to where she doesn't have to like compensate for a guy who maybe doesn't care about like going to her shows and stuff. Or maybe doesn't care about hanging out with her family.
Celebrating that.
Yeah. I don't know. This was the one thing where I was like, oh my God, I'm in on this relationship.
So what happens when they get married in Cleveland, Ohio? Do they shut down the city for the day?
I need to know. I need to know the ins and outs of like the wedding planning and stuff. Who's going to be in the bridal party? Who's going to be in the groom like party? I need to know. I hope it happens, but we'll see. Couple Bill's comments going on here. Don't worry.
I know already. We're getting there. We're getting there.
We will talk about that. Trust me, I have a lot to say. What else?
Aaron Rodgers said he's expected.
Oh,
we can go Jim Harbaugh. We go Aaron Rodgers. Which one you want to do?
Let's finish up Rodgers first, because keeping the theme of Swifties and stuff. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Swiftie. He's a Swiftie.
Crazy man. He said Thanksgiving. Is that correct?
He's expected to be full-time with the team again at Thanksgiving, because we know why he can attend for the Thanksgiving part, but that doesn't really matter. He said today that he has a lot of thoughts on Achilles research and a lot of things that he wouldn't be allowed to say on TV, so he kept it to himself. I don't know what that means.
Well, okay, so he kept it to himself, which is interesting because he's always been very outspoken about his thoughts about medical
Well, they probably
stuff.
said, Pat McAfee probably said, hey, we can't give you all this money if you're going to keep saying these things. So maybe just tone it down a little bit and we'll keep pushing for millions of dollars.
Okay, whatever. All of that nonsense aside, I just don't think coming back and actually playing the season is a good idea. Because
are the Jets going to make the playoffs? No. What is that going to do you coming back?
They would need to win out for them to even have a shot. What's their record right now? They're what, 4-5, 4-6, something like that. They would truly need to win out. I don't see that happening. They are
4-5.
Okay, so I mean, so at best, what, they finish 12-5? What the hell?
That's not gonna happen.
There, like it's just not possible. One, for that reason alone, shouldn't do it. 2, you're coming back from like a serious injury, a serious surgery.
That people take their time to come back from.
And
have a lot of rehab.
A real high rate of happening again. How many guys have we seen in the last 2 years who have already injured their Achilles before that have done it again? Cam Akers just did it. Like,
well, I think it was the opposite one, but like still.
Oh, well, even still, then you overcompensate from one and it injures the other.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. Just take the rest of the season off, go full rehab to 100%, even 110%. Rehab past the point of rehab. And then just bring it back for next year and see what you can do, because it's a lost season.
Shame. Right. I'm not here to age shame Aaron Rodgers by any means, but at 40 years old, your body is a lot different than you were 2 years ago. Like, you need to take time and rest to come back. Even playing a full season at this now probably takes a toll on your body. Plus, you have to worry about this injury.
It's just, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
But it also is such a him thing to do, because he needs to be it's like he's egomaniacal. That's what it is. That's what it is. He just needs to prove that he can do something that nobody else can do. And then whether it ends good or bad remains to be seen. But I just feel like it's such a bad idea. There's no point. You don't have anything to prove.
Did you see his tweet, Jack Jones?
Oh, he tweeted?
Oh, he tweeted.
Oh, boy.
Would you like me to read it?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Pats Nation and Pats organization. I appreciate everything about the experience I had with the Pats. It's love forever, new chapter, blessed to be a guess the team.
Oh, the Raiders, I saw.
Oh, okay, there we go. Blessed to be a Raider.
I saw.
It makes so much sense. They all just go.
It's just.
Coach Young, they're still going.
The coach now, though, coached him in high school and in college. So, like, it makes sense. But also, even if that wasn't the case, he was going to be a Raider either way. That's where all former Patriots go. It used to be the Texans, and now it's the Raiders. I got a lot of thoughts about the whole Jack Jones situation, too. But, like, it's just, we have a whole little mini segment about diagnosing the Patriots' issues and their future and whatnot. So we'll get into that, too. But let's wrap this up and talk some college football coaches who just, wow. What a banner weekend for college football head coaches, specifically ones named Jim, or a variation of Jimbo.
Yep.
Let's start with Jimbo, because that's like the shorter of the two. He's out, fired. They don't want him anymore. Can't blame.
He might have the best job
on
the planet right now.
Got it made. He doesn't have to do a damn thing, and he's getting what, $76
ever again in his life.
$76
million. They said, we will give you $76 million to do absolutely nothing, to leave us alone.
Get away from our football program. That's
great career.
That's great. I mean, I always say backup quarterbacks have it made, because like they really most likely, well, maybe except for this season, don't have to do much. Just, prepare a little bit. Like, worst case scenario, you have to go in for a couple plays in the game in a normal season. Obviously not this one where everybody's hurt left and right. And you still rake a couple mil each year. Being a failed college football coach might be better than that, because you get or even a Raiders coach at this point. You get a bag. You likely only have to waste maybe 2 to 3 years before they decide to move on. And you still get to keep all that money that you signed for. So who's the real loser in that situation? It's definitely the school. It's not the guy that's without a job. So Jimbo Fisher, I mean, man, that's sucks that you lost your job, but like, does it really?
Like, hey, congrats on the payday.
You don't have to do a single thing. And then Jim Harbaugh. This whole Michigan thing, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. But it's just.
Well, we're gonna keep hearing about it for a while.
The
Big Ten, they like every so many years they take turns on which head coach is going to get caught doing something stupid.
Yep.
And this time we are at Michigan. We've been at Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, Michigan, it's now your turn. We'll have to hear about it forever. My only complaint about this is I don't know why we are saying things to the players. What do you want the players to do? They are there for scholarships. They are there because they were recruited. Do you want them to just get up and leave and go to another school? It doesn't work like that. Like, what do you want them to do?
So I made a joke about the players, but that's because they like had their free gym or free Harbaugh shirts at the beginning of the season. Joke. So like, what are people saying? Like, oh, like you should have known, you should have gone to a different school, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's not like you should have gone to a different school, but they're like, you're a part of the problem. I can't believe you guys let this happen. What did you want them to do?
What?
You're 18 years old. I don't know.
What? Yeah, what was he?
And they probably didn't even. Yeah, I don't know.
I did see a tweet though that this Stallions guy, whoever was like the mastermind behind all of this, was like roommates or something with, I can't even remember who the player was, but like they have like an LLC together.
Like Corum?
Was it? Yeah. What? Yeah, was it Corum? And then he was asked about like, oh, well, you guys have an LLC together. What's this about? He goes, no, we don't. I don't know anything about it. And somebody pulled like the filing for the LLC itself, and like it was signed off by Corum and everything like that. So, I mean,
what do you want them to do?
I don't really think anybody aside from like the staff, I don't truly think the players really knew the nitty gritty of all of it and like how deep this actually got. But I truly don't think there's any realm of possibility where Harbaugh didn't know that this was happening.
Oh, yeah,
whether he like ordered it to be happened or something like that. Like, I don't think that's the case, but he knew about it. So I don't know. The whole thing's dumb.
See, I like this comment right here because this makes me think this, and then we'll bring Blaiden on. So if Ohio State fails to beat Michigan this season with or without Jim Harbaugh, where does this leave Ryan Day? That's going to be a real bad look if they can't beat Michigan. How many times did they last time in a row? 2, 3, 2?
More than
you can't.
You would know better than me. I don't know.
Well, maybe sometimes it's good when you don't beat Michigan because then you'll go on into the NFL and be in the running for MVP at your rookie season. So.
Well, I mean, we were already talking about Ryan Day's future at the beginning of the season when they just barely beat Notre Dame. So, like it might be the nail in the coffin, but it's not going to be like the dramatic, oh, well, you couldn't do this, so we're firing you. Like, there were many things leading up to it if that happened.
But they could all go down and say, you don't beat Michigan. That's what we do here. You got to go.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I don't know.
Are you tired of Michigan? Because the Patriots did the same thing. I'm begging you guys. It's been so long. It's been so long. Please read up on this stuff.
God.
If you have not yet, because you will see how Spygate, Deflategate, all that crap. Like, do your research before we talk, please. I'm so tired of having this conversation.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we're bringing Blaiden on. Blaiden, get in here.
Blaiden, hello. If you guys don't know who Blaiden is, 1, shame on you. 2, you need to after this.
Depends. Are you a Dolphins fan? If you're a Dolphins fan, you probably don't want to know who I am.
Guys, I found out Dolphins fans are really scary recently, and I did not know that they were.
They hate me because they've been digging up my old Tua tweets.
We all have those. We're allowed to have growth and move on from things. Come on.
Oh, I'm not moving on.
You're staying right where it is.
That's why they still hate me. It's because I'm not moving on.
That's fine. That's whatever. If we want to start there, we can just go right in. We can just go AFC East.
Yeah.
What the heck? Not good football. Pretty mid across the board. The Dolphins may be the best team. I don't know, but we don't know still. And the Bills are in shambles, and the Jets are in shambles, and Aaron Rodgers is coming back, and the Patriots are in last place of the entire AFC. Not good.
Patriots are dead, so we don't really need to get into that one yet.
So we can.
I mean, let's just talk about the Bills. Let's just start off with the Bills. What the hell is going on?
They have kind of the same problem they did last year to a much more magnified extent, I think, which is their defense is super injured. Mm-hmm. And their offense solely relies on Josh Allen hero ball. And if you have like a Gabe Davis drop that gets intercepted and a Dalton Kincaid drop, it's like, how many offensive possessions are you going to have that just end in interceptions because you have what was it, the first play of the game? was a fumble.
Fumble.
Right? Yeah. So it's just like,
Yeah.
and I know they fired their offensive coordinator. I don't know how much of an impact that's actually going to have on the success of this offense. It's like the EPA numbers are still good, so
they're like top 4 in almost every category.
It's such a scapegoat move.
Yeah, like, it's just like you don't have a reasonable move to make.
Right.
So it's like,
but they need to do something dramatic.
You're firing somebody for the sake of making it seem like you're making some sort of change.
We're trying
in reality,
to do something.
Like the real change that we need to be making is at the head coach position. Like there's been conversations about Sean McDermott being on the hot seat for the last 2 years, and like they had this window. The window is completely shut now, by the way, but they had this window where they were supposed to succeed way past their mark, way past what they already did. And like at this point, it's disappointing. So it's like, okay, how long are we going to do this Sean McDermott thing? How long are we going to make this a thing when he has underachieved with this team that we all thought was supposed to be Super Bowl contenders for the last 4 years?
Yeah. So the thing with McDermott's more of a defensive guy. So it's like,
yeah, and the defense is in shambles.
Right, and the defense isn't good, right? And they've been banged up. So you get some like, okay, maybe it's not all your fault. But it's kind of the same thing, I think, with Browns fans and Stefanski, where you've gone through so many iterations of different things. Oh, we've tried this. You know, we're in year 4 now of this like experiment per se. At some point, you just have to try something new, even if he's not the problem. Mm-hmm. If he's not the solution, it probably isn't worth working with anymore.
There's a real reality here where they miss the playoffs. Like, I feel like their chances to miss the playoffs at this point are greater than actually making it, because the remainder of their schedule is brutal.
It's a tough schedule.
Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys.
You got the Chargers in there. You don't know what Charger team you're going to get on any given Sunday, so that could go either way.
I think they can beat the Chargers.
What they can't do is going to be.
The Chargers are so bad on defense. Their defense is horrible.
They're very bad. They're the next team that we need to have a conversation about firing their defensive-minded head coach, because
that's a reasonable thing, because they've brought in so many guys. Like the Bills' defense is just hurt.
Yeah.
And they're old, but the Chargers' defense is they've brought in so many guys and they're just horrible.
It's not working.
God awful defense.
Yeah,
okay, well, how concerned are you with Josh Allen, or are you even concerned at all? Because I mean, like Josh Allen, there's there is valid criticism there, you know, because it could be a lot better, but at the same time, he's doing a lot of things that other people aren't doing. Now, I posted this today on Twitter, and the replies were actually insane to me. I said, how many teams would improve with Josh Allen on the roster? And people were saying like, oh, maybe like 2 or 3. Maybe 2 or 3 in the NFC South, probably.
There's maybe 2 or 3 teams that wouldn't improve with Josh Allen. The Chiefs would probably be about the same. I'm trying to think. The Chiefs, I think the Eagles, just because their offense operates. It's just, there's so much good there. There's only so high I think you could get without going with Mahomes. It's such a short list. Cincinnati.
Right.
Or the Chargers. I think the Chargers would be about the same, probably.
Well, him and Herbert are the same.
Answers.
Him and Herbert are the same person. There's boneheaded gunslingers.
Yeah, I got a lot of Brock Purdy, and I'm like, the 49ers would never lose a game.
Boneheaded man.
I love him to death. He's a bonehead. I just don't know. Like, I'm more questioning the future. What does the future of this team look like? Because you've got Trayvon Diggs out here saying, "Get my brother out of here, free my brother." And Diggs has been like, Stephon Diggs has been no stranger to voicing his opinion when things have not gone well or gone to the standard that they think it should be. So what the heck goes on after this is what I want to know. I think it all boils down to whether they make the playoffs or not, of course. But either way, I feel like there needs to be some sort of change.
Yeah, I mean, some sort of soft rebuild. I don't think you can move on from Allen. Like, I don't think there's any future where that exists.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least no future where that exists and the GM keeps his job. Right. But I could see a world where Diggs is gone. I don't think that's unreasonable. We've seen the Chiefs move on from Tyreek Hill. We've seen teams get rid of their wide receiver ones kind of all across the league. The Titans with AJ Brown. Now, some of them have gone better than others. I think Allen's a guy where it could work out if you were to surround him with a better run game, better offensive
People
line.
Who can catch a ball.
Yeah, right. If Gabe Davis doesn't drop a massive wide open pass, get younger on defense. You have to hit on your draft picks. That's the big thing. When was the last draft pick they've really hit on? Allen?
I mean, Kincaid feels like he's on that path to be a good one, but like it's also 10 weeks into his career, right. So like who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Kincaid maybe, Osiris Torrance maybe. Who's the corner they drafted? I loved him a lot. Kyrie Alam.
What about like Greg Rousseau?
Greg Rousseau, yes. Okay.
That's probably like one of the only good ones.
Yeah. So it's Allen and Rousseau are like their real good picks in the last 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, like, you look at Baltimore, who's been awesome this year. They haven't had a bad draft
ever. like they've never had a bad draft.
They don't draft bad. They draft well every single year. And I think this year's draft and last year's draft were especially great. But yeah, you just have to be good at drafting, or you're gonna have to have some sort of a soft rebuild. But like, I think you get younger on defense. If you have to move on from Diggs, free up some money, so be it. That might.
Where would be a good potential location for him? Because I don't see too many options where he would feel happier. I think that's one of the main concerns that he has. He wants to win immediately. It seems. But who's gonna get him?
I didn't come into this thinking about moving off from Diggs. I'm trying to think about.
I know. I'm
trying to think about who has the money to make that work. Honestly,
the Pats are gonna have the money for it, but
that's gonna work.
Stay the hell away,
the Big Mac, man. I don't know if I actually like the Chargers or if I just want to get Justin Herbert some help.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
But wait, I don't know how much you are up to like baseball speed, but 0. I saw really funny. Okay, well then I don't know if you're gonna get it. I saw. You might.
I know who Ellie De La Cruz is, man.
Do you know who Shohei Ohtani is?
Yeah, I know who that is.
Do you know who Mike Trout is?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone said that Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen are like Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on the Angels. So it's a good comp for that.
Yeah, Keenan's been nice this year, but that's another team where they just need another piece. Johnston was a horrible pick.
Mike Williams can't stay healthy to save his life.
I do like Mike Williams, but he can't stay healthy.
Love him to death.
I sentenced Justin Herbert to Jalen Guyton and
Josh Palmer.
Great. Yeah, just
recipe for success.
Ben Brock is saying Miami for a landing spot for Diggs. They don't need any more weapons, man.
No.
They need if anything, they need an offensive line. That would be the one thing.
I can't. Let's move on to the other teams in shambles in the AFC East. The Jets are sticking with Zach Wilson this week. Are they like fully believing this whole Rodgers thing that he's going to be back sooner rather than later? Apparently. Do you believe it? Is what I want to know.
I don't think it necessarily matters. My take from the jump was, I don't think you could make a move that would make you substantially better. I'm trying to think about how I want to phrase it. Like, anyone that you bring in is going to be closer to a similar result that Zach Wilson gives you than what Rodgers could potentially give you. So if you brought in, I think the conversation was like Andy Dalton or Brissett at the beginning of the year, it's like, how much does that really move the needle?
Right.
It's like, yeah, they're better than Zach Wilson, but is it going to be enough if you're trying to win a Super Bowl? Like, I don't know. I think you kind of just ride it out with Zach Wilson. I thought that was a perfectly fine decision to make. If that's the guy you have faith in, then that's fine, right? No need to waste resources trying to, learn up a new quarterback on the playbook and everything when Wilson's been there the whole time. And then if Rodgers can come back this year, okay. I mean, I guess.
But like, why? It just to see if he could still do it. I don't know. I
feel like it's more of like an ego thing at this point. So he already said it, so he's got to do it.
It's got to be.
There's a lot to say for that. I don't know.
Like we were just talking about, like they're not going to make the playoffs even if he comes back. They have to win out for them to even have a shot. So like, what is the point to rush back? I don't know. Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots is what we all want to know.
This week or like next year?
Like after the bye and then next year, because there might be two different answers. There should be two different answers.
Who's on the roster right now? It's
Mac, Zappy, Will Grier, Malik Cunningham.
I say bring back Matt Corral. That's what I
blade it.
Please.
This is okay. I will not let this go.
Is he okay though? Like is he?
Yeah,
what's he doing? What's
what
he up to?
Happened?
With who? Corral?
With Corral. Why did he just like?
I think
follow him more than we do.
Totally unfair. I think it's totally unfair, man. Every other quarterback from that draft class got a shot to play at least like one snap, and we have had the most starting quarterbacks in a single season in NFL history, and Matt Corral still is not on a team. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this.
I agree.
I don't know. I mean, Will Grier might get a start. Point. Like, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be just revolving door of those guys on the roster. You'll probably start with Mac. He'll be bad. Throw Zappy in. He'll be bad.
I'm not even like, I genuinely think like Mac Jones's Patriots career ended the other day. He got benched with 2 minutes left, down by 4. You're done. There's no coming back from that. Like,
bad.
My favorite part about those two is that, Mac Jones isn't good. And Bailey Zappi isn't good. But when one does something wrong and they swap in, they do their little thing before each other goes out there to hype each other up just to throw an interception every single time.
It's just
every single time. I feel bad for them. I really do. But
I feel bad for Zappy.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if I feel bad for Mac Jones.
Oh no, I feel bad when he was getting screamed at on the sideline.
I don't.
That was an embarrassing clip.
Nope. That was one of the
stupidest. Crying and left.
One of the stupidest plays I've ever seen. And he's made a lot of stupid plays. That's one of the stupidest plays I've ever seen him try to make. He deserved it. I do feel bad though, because he genuinely looked like he was gonna cry, and I think he knows too. Like that was it. This is it.
He could be a career backup.
I mean, we were just talking about that. Like, that's fine. Get the money. Who cares? But it's like embarrassing. And it's not all his fault. I mean, the revolving door of the offensive coordinator, you had dummy Patricia as the offensive coordinator last year. There's a lot of it that relies on Bill Belichick's decision-making on the coaching staff and the roster and things like that. So, like, it's not 100% Mac's fault, but, like, both things can be true. Like, he's not the guy. He never was.
Well, this is what we were talking about on Stay Hot, which is the weapons are horrible.
Ugh.
I mean, it is probably the worst culmination of offensive talent in the NFL right now. Offensive line, receivers, like the whole shebang. It's all bad.
Yeah.
If it were good, Mac Jones would actually probably look okay. There's probably a world in which that exists. But he is not the guy to elevate this group.
No, absolutely not.
And that's the real problem, is they don't have They don't have any elite talent on that offense, and they don't have a guy that can elevate the guys around him. And therefore, the offense is probably dead last in most metrics.
They're like bottom 5 in every single one, maybe bottom 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about them. I don't want to talk about it.
But they could. I mean, they'll have a high draft pick.
Yeah, they will. Well, now,
So-
granted, what they do with that remains to be seen. But because, like, I don't know.
JJ McCarthy will be a Patriot. Fear not.
God. See, like, that's the problem. That's the
God,
problem.
that's gonna be funny. I'm sorry for laughing. It's not funny, but like it would be great to
funny.
see.
It's
is.
true.
It is funny. Like, there's some sort of karma happening here, and that, like, I
See,
get
it's just you guys won way too many Super Bowls.
It's-
You had
yeah,
so much
I mean-
fun, and now they're like, we're gonna let you suffer for a little, and then we'll see what happens.
You're gonna
I
trade
will-
back. You're gonna
Yeah,
trade back
exactly.
and then take McCarthy. That's what you'll trade back.
I
and
will
take McCarthy.
give myself credit, though. I held firm to I'm no longer getting upset about this football team. And this weekend, I didn't get mad. I didn't get upset. I just laughed. That's it. Because that's all you can do. Is just laugh.
Yeah, it's all you can do.
That's it.
Been
You
there.
woke up to watch a 9:30 game where your
6:30.
team scored.
6:30.
Blaiden,
It was-
don't act like you haven't seen bad football before.
Yeah, but I don't wake up at 9 a.m. to do it.
Even worse, it was 6:30 Pacific time. So, like,
Oh, you're on the West Coast?
I was up at 5:30 because we went to the Chargers and Lions game too. So I was up at 5:30 to shower and get ready and watch that crap. I know. It's fine. It's okay.
Okay, but if we want to continue the misery, what happens with Bill Belichick? Is he going to go somewhere?
I
I
think
heard the
Didn't he just
rumblings.
sign an
I
extension?
see it.
he signed an extension, but supposedly it's only through next year. So,
A little prove it deal for Billy B.
lots of rumblings about potentially a trade with Washington. If in my perfect world where the thing that must happen is he is not the Patriots coach anymore. Not saying that I want that to happen, but like if that's the quantifier here, I want them to mutually part ways, and then I want him to go to the Los Angeles Chargers and save Justin Herbert's ass because Brandon Staley's not cutting it. Hasn't been. And I think that there's really an ego thing with Belichick where he won't just end his Patriots tenure and have that be it because he still has to chase the Shula record and he still has to fight that beast of, oh, well, without Tom Brady, maybe you're not that good. This isn't me saying this. This is just the general NFL consensus here. But I really do think that would have an effect on that decision making. So you go to a team that offensively they have the pieces. It's just the execution maybe isn't there all the time, and their injury luck isn't there. But like the defense needs to be fixed, and the defense hasn't been a
Belichick
problem.
was there, they'd have the best corners in the NFL, so they would go from the worst secondary to the best overnight. So just off of coaching alone.
I just don't know. Like I do think he's done with New England now. Long answer short. Like I think it's time. And whatever. I mean, it was cool.
You know,
Cool 20
sometimes
years.
it's best to go before you do any more damage.
That's it. Like
Sometimes the game moves past you. Seen that before. Down the street right here. Baseball. Sometimes you gotta go. Sometimes you just need to move on.
it's the reality of the situation. You know, it's the game is evolving, and you can't always stay stuck in your ways forever, benching guys for weeks on end because they didn't get their toes in bound one game and then whatever. In more entertaining and fun and happy talk, can we talk about CJ Stroud and the potential MVP candidate that he is? Because I think this is a real
Potential.
thing. This is a real thing.
He is the MVP.
Okay, Blaiden, you can get that at plus 2,000 on FanDuel Sportsbook.
Is it really
bet on
still
it right
only
now.
plus 2,000?
It goes
That's-
Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Lamar, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud.
I wanted to put money on it last week when Stroud wasn't even like top 10. I was like, I should
Well,
do
you
it.
still have a chance.
Yeah, you still do.
Just do a
I still
little
could.
$5 for bragging rights.
Or I should do a little $500, pay my mortgage.
I mean, who's to say?
There's only two possible options, Either I win or I don't. It's 50-50 in my book. Anyway.
Who do you realistically think is the MVP though? Because I have some problems with Mahomes being the favorite right now.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong. I think Mahomes gets the benefit of the doubt being the best quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're also the 1 seed in the AFC, and their offense is still quite good despite not being a super great rushing attack and not having any receivers. You talk about the Patriots being bad offensively. This is the worst receiving core in football. It's like Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, and I love Rashee Rice. But, let's be real. These weapons aren't good. So I think that's where the Mahomes MVP case comes in, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lamar has a real shot. I think Allen has a real shot if the Bills can make the playoffs. I think after that...
Not Tua.
No, I wouldn't put Tua in there.
What about Jalen Hurts? He's number 2 in...
I
running.
I have a problem with Hurts being so high a little bit. Hurts, I mean, the numbers are good. But that offense,
he's just not doing as much as the others.
The offense is so good. I just think and people call this pushing the goalpost back. I don't think it is. I think it's like quantifying what it means to be the MVP. This is the most talented offense. I think even more talented than the Dolphins because the offensive line is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And he is just, the offense should be by far and away the best in football. And it's not. Right? So I think that's the thing for me. It's like if Jalen Hurts were to be the MVP, the offense would have to be so head and shoulders better than everyone else. And it's just not. So, yeah, I would do Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Stroud. I would put AJ Brown in that mix. I would put McCaffrey in that mix, and I would put Tyreek in that mix and Garrett.
Duh, of course. Why would we not?
Put Max Crosby in that mix too. The Raiders are 5-5 right now.
The Raiders.
They are winning. They are winning games. Another team that is winning games. Let's talk a little bit about. We'll do a little Cleveland Browns, and then I have a few hypothetical questions for you, and then we'll wrap it up. So, have you ever seen football like this in your life?
Have I ever seen what?
Football like this in your life as a Browns fan, winning games that you're not supposed to win. Every game that the Cleveland Browns have won, those are the games that we always lose in the opposite way. Every single time, and they're just winning these games. I just really can't believe it.
The only game we've won where I haven't had to hold my breath, quarter 1 to quarter 4, was the Cardinals game. That's pretty much it. I guess the Bengals game.
Maybe the Titans.
Yeah, maybe.
The beginning was a little sketch.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
yeah, the little
because the offense was so
sketchy.
bad, but
yeah,
but the defense came through. It was closer, I think, than the score made it out to be. Mm-hmm. Titans game, that was relatively comfortable as well. But then Watson had that one awful turnover in that game too. So
the one where he threw it behind him to Mike Moore. Yeah, that was pretty bad too. I don't know. But I've never seen things like this before. In my mind, I'm feeling like we've had so many good. When is something bad going to happen? Because that's usually how it goes,
Well, we have had the bad. The bad has been the offense.
Yeah,
it's just the defense. The defense is
winning,
so good.
All the games that we're winning, I'm like, when is it going to go bad? Because we've had too many lucky times in a row. I'm just conditioned to think it's going to be bad.
This is the catching the breaks. I think comes year to year more so than week to week. We'll catch all the breaks this year, right? And it'll be enough to get us into the playoffs. It'll be enough for Stefanski
they should be in the playoffs. Yes.
And we'll see where we go from there. Maybe we're in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Do you think Deshaun Watson can play consistently enough to make that move in the playoffs, or do you think it's still going to be week to week? We don't know what we're going to see. Half to half, you never know what you're going to see.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously though, the first half of the Ravens game, he completed what, like 5 passes? It was horrendous. It was one of the worst performances I've seen. And then the second half, he was 14 for 14, couldn't miss.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, I think when the Browns draw up easy looks, it helps. I think where Watson struggles right now is, full field reads. I think he's slow through kind of all of that. I think he's slow just moving in the pocket, feeling things out. I think his pocket presence is like a lag behind where it needs to be. So I don't want him doing full field reads. I want him hit the top of your drop. We're reading a space, and we're just like, linebacker vacates. Okay, that window's there. Put it there. Linebacker stays. Okay, we know we have something coming right underneath him. We're going to hit that. That's the kind of stuff I want. This is like rookie Cam Newton level offense. All right.
Right.
And then from there, we'll see what he can get more comfortable with. And I think that's kind of what Stefanski does. Is he gives you the easy stuff, and then he slowly tries to give you a little bit more responsibility. He did it with Baker. Didn't work out, but Baker was also hurt. And now I think he's going to try and do that with Watson. But, yeah, I just don't think you can let him sit back, empty, read out the whole field, and make an accurate, make a good decision, an accurate on-time throw. But if you just say, hey, hit the top of your drop, let it fly, I think it can be fine. I think it can be okay. And I think he's been a net positive as a runner. So.
Yeah, so it's really frustrating, because you never know what you are going to get. Each half is different. You just never know. I don't know. I just want something consistent and not annoying. That's a lot to ask for.
Don't we all?
That's a lot to ask for, and something we've been asking for our whole life. With AFC North in general, it's crazy. Who do you think is going to win?
Probably still Baltimore. I mean, it's close. I mean, it's really close. I think Baltimore.
This game on Thursday is going to be
huge,
fun to watch.
Yeah, Baltimore and Cincy. That'll be a real. I don't even know if it is a real tell for where this division is.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it'll
in
just
a good
be,
way.
Yeah, it'll just be, if the Bengals win, it'll just be us cannibalizing each other until only one of us makes the playoffs.
Right.
But if the Ravens win, it puts the Bengals in a really tough spot. I don't know. I do think Baltimore's the most complete team. I think Lamar is probably a top 3 quarterback. I think their offense has been humming at a really nice level. I thought generally the Browns defense did a good job, but they still scored 40 almost. Or what was it? What was the final score? 33-31?
Yeah.
Okay, so not 40.
But still, that's 2 times in a row. But like 2 times in a row of like 38 and 31 back-to-back games. I mean, that's a lot of points.
Yeah. So I mean, their offense is humming. The defense, I think, flies to the football. They've been, getting lots of pressure, lots of sacks with Clowney and Adafeowe, and they've been a great run defense with undersized linebackers and like 3rd-round pick defensive tackle Travis Jones. So, I mean, they've got the guys. They do have like Kyle Hamilton, who's a star. I think for Baltimore, they just have to stay healthy, and they'll probably be okay. I don't trust Pittsburgh. And Cincinnati, I don't know how to feel about them. Their offense is good.
They're good, but
they are
I don't
good.
know what they're doing.
They started off so slow that they're now trying to dig themselves out of this hole.
Right.
And I think they can do it. I think, Burrow and Chase and I think Higgins, they all have the juice to get it done. I think Lou Anarumo is a great defensive coordinator. I think they have really a lot of talent on defense. It'll come down to it for sure. I think if I had to pick the teams to make the playoffs, I think Baltimore wins it. I think Cincinnati probably gets the 2 spot. but it'll be close. Cleveland probably the 3, and then I would probably pick Pittsburgh to miss.
So if you go Cleveland 3, what would you qualify that season as? Is 3 making the playoffs? Is that a good season to you?
I think they would win. I think they would get into the playoffs at 3. I mean, who's knocking them out?
Their schedule is relatively easy.
I think
we
Houston.
Say that now,
I think Houston gets in over Pittsburgh. I mean, who from the AFC East? Right?
Whoever wins, and it's probably the Dolphins.
West? Miami's going to win it, so like that's that right there. But like Buffalo has a Buffalo's going to be lucky to win 3 to 4 games to finish out the year.
I think Cleveland's better than Buffalo right now.
I agree.
What about the Broncos? They've been playing better.
They have. Denver intrigues me. I don't know if I'm ready to call them a playoff team yet.
No,
I wouldn't call them a playoff team either, but they are winning games, and I don't know how they are, but they are. Yeah.
It's worth. I think it's worth looking into. Just kind of what they've been doing well, what kind of changes they've made. Russ looks to be playing a little bit better. I think they've just started asking him to do a little bit less.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. Yeah, but no, they're not so far off, and I don't think they have a tough schedule remaining, if I'm not mistaken. Broncos schedule. They have coming up. They just beat Buffalo. They have Minnesota. That's the way Minnesota's been playing. That's a tough game. Yeah, people are saying that's not a good Sunday night game. I think that is a good Sunday night game.
I think that's a decent game.
I think Denver,
I want to watch
Minnesota, they're both on kind of hot streaks. I think that's a fun Sunday night game.
Looking at it from like the beginning of the season, you look at the primetime schedule and you see that one, and you're like, all right, whatever. Yes. But now, like, that could be sneaky cool.
I think that'll be a fun game. Then they have Cleveland, Houston, the Chargers, the Lions, Patriots, Chargers again, Raiders. Once you get past these upcoming 3, it's not so bad, but you have to probably win at least one of these 3.
Right.
Because they're 4 and 5 right now. I don't think you can drop to 4 and 8 and still expect to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
4 and 7. Or if you drop to 4 and 6, 4 and 7, 5 and 7. If you're 5 and 7 going into LA, but then you have to beat Detroit. Yeah, you have to probably win 2 of these. Yeah, you probably have to win 2 of these upcoming. So I would probably not take them. Matt Canada. Yeah, that's why we don't trust Pittsburgh.
That's funny. Okay, last thing I have for you. We'll make this quick so you can go because we know you have to go. I'm going to give you a few hypotheticals. I just want you to tell me what you think is more likely to happen. Okay. Jets to make the playoffs or Steelers to win the AFC North?
Oh.
Jets to make the playoffs.
Yikes.
Okay. Texans or Bengals to make the playoffs?
I probably lean Cincy, but that's close. I could see a world where it doesn't go well for Cincy.
Okay, Josh Dobbs to win a playoff game for the Vikings this season, or the Chiefs to lose in the first round of the playoffs, or their first plaoff game.
Josh Dobbs.
They might have to play.
Give me
Josh Dobbs. Okay, last one I have for you.
It didn't matter what you were going to say. Josh Dobbs is winning a playoff game. This is a lock.
Last one I have for you. Which is more likely to happen? Deshaun Watson to win an MVP during his time in Cleveland, or Bryce Young to win a Super Bowl for Carolina?
Bryce Young to win the Super Bowl.
Bryce Young Super Bowl. Oh God, I agree. I agree with that.
Oi.
Okay, Blaiden, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking some football. You guys don't follow Blaiden. You need to follow Blaiden. Blaiden, can you just tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on?
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram. Everything is at Blaiden K, except for my Twitter, which is at Blaiden, or you can find me at blaiden.com. But don't go there right now. My database is down, so things might look a little weird. But yeah, Blaiden.com, Blaiden on Twitter, Blaiden K everywhere else.
Perfect. All right,
Thanks for hanging
Blaiden.
out with us.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Bye.
Okay, Bree, I had one more that I was going to bring up during, but we couldn't take up any more of his time.
Yeah, we had to let him go.
I saw this conspiracy theory on TikTok. It's not like I believe it or anything. It was just funny to see. And it involves the Super Bowl logos and the teams playing in the Super Bowl. So the last two have been the colors of teams that were playing in the Super Bowl. So Bengals, Rams, it was orange and yellow. Last year, it was red and green. So Chiefs, Eagles. This year, it's red and purple. 49ers, Ravens.
Or we can go full balls to the wall and do Vikings, Chiefs.
Vikings, Chiefs, yeah. So that's the one that they said was the one that the girl said was 49ers, Ravens. But I mean, in my mind, I thought Vikings, Chiefs.
49ers, Ravens would be sick. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, that would be a great game. It would be a great game.
Yeah, and then we can bring back the Harbaugh Bowl and everything and start talking about that again. Yeah, there's more Jim Harbaugh in the news. Let's keep it rolling.
Jim Harbaugh. So
funny. You want to hit on our one NBA thing before we wrap up for the day?
Yeah, and then we'll send it on home. So I was at a bar. This weekend for one of my friend's birthday parties, and I'm telling you, we sat at a table for maybe 3 hours talking about our top players in the NBA. We would just bring someone else to the table and have them list them off. And it was the funnest conversation I've been in a very long time. So what I would like for us to do is give our top 5 players currently in the NBA right now.
Okay. And just right off the bat, like no explanations needed, just whatever.
Just let them go. Yeah.
All right. Let's start with number 1. For me right now, it's Jokic. 2, Giannis. 3 and 4 are close for me, but 3 I'll put Luka, 4 Tatum, and then 5 Steph Curry. I just feel like he's still the best shooter in the game. You can't leave him off.
Okay, my list is very similar, but you're not gonna like the one that I have on my list that you don't.
Yeah.
So I have Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Jason Tatum. And Jason Tatum was the one that, so it was my friend. It was his fiance's birthday, and he could not wrap his mind around having Jason Tatum in his top 5. And every person we brought to the table when they said Jason Tatum, he would start screaming. It was so funny. It was awesome.
Unbelievable. He's going to be in top 3 in the MVP conversation this year. He absolutely deserves.
I mean, yeah.
He absolutely deserves. And I mean, the reason why I don't have Embiid in mine is like I know he's reigning MVP and everything, and he's perennial MVP candidate. I just feel like for as big of a human being as he is, the way he just flails for foul calls like is embarrassing.
God.
Like you are a very large human being. Drive the ball to the rack. If you get fouled, you get fouled. Enough of this flopping around like a little ballerina. Sick of it. Free throw merchant. Tired of it.
I think we could also argue Anthony Edwards. That's someone that we could put near this right now. There's a lot of good players in the NBA compared to the NFL that's not giving us anything at all.
I would put Ant probably at like 7 or 8 currently.
Shay,
but like
he's near there.
You stay if Ant stays on the path that he's on right now, just with the way that he started the season, there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the top 5 come even All-Star break. Like
you could argue KD also. There's just so many good players that you could put near the top.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the leagues that we get to see.
Yeah. Well, compared to football right now, if you tried to ask me top 5 quarterbacks right now, I might have an aneurysm. So
the top 5 changes every single week, every single day. Depends on who wants to throw more interceptions or turn the ball over or lose a game. So
yep. Just ridiculous. But there are a lot of good games this week, and then we are getting into the holiday season too, which is real crunch time for playoff implications, stuff like that. So I feel like we're finally going to be seeing some good football. I say that hopeful. Whether it actually happens obviously remains to be seen, because the way the season has gone this year, a lot of games have been very ugly. So hopefully with the added implications, it gets a little bit better and we get a little bit better quarterback play from our supposed top 5 guys. But yeah, we're already halfway through the season, which is wild to think. But what else? We'll be doing our daily fantasy again this week. I forgot to put my lineup in last week, so shame on me.
Well,
but I did win.
I was
10
winning
cents.
$5
Ugh.
until the Browns started scoring points.
Yeah. Well. What else? Is that everything?
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all the topics we have for this week. We covered a lot of things. And hopefully next week can be just as exciting.
Hopefully next week. Yeah, I mean, we got football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week, if you want to throw college football in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Busy. With that being said, shout out to Blaiden one more time for joining us. Always appreciated having him on, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. See you next Tuesday.